Hello, this is a message to let you know that my podcast Billions is now properly up and running. The podcast delves into the lives and stories of those who have stood out in the billions of people that we share the earth with. You can listen to episode 1 and 2 on the greatest boxer of all time, Muhammad Ali, and also my latest episode on the greatest basketball player there has ever been, Michael Jordan. If you want to listen to Billions, just search Billions with Darren Rees on any podcast platform, or have a look at the description for this episode. You will find the relevant links to get to the podcast there. Hello and welcome to the Football for Kids podcast with me, Darren Rees. And welcome to day 4 of Barcelona week. Every day this week, from Monday to Sunday, there will be a new episode on something to do with Barcelona. I hope that you've had a chance to check out and listen to the 3 episodes that have been released so far. Also, a massive thank you to everyone who signed up to Patreon since I put the message out on the podcast. It is much appreciated. In this episode 4 of Barca Week, we're going to be speaking about the Spain and Barcelona goal-scoring midfielder and the winner of the Women's Ballon d'Or 2023, Aitana Bonmati. Before we get into this episode, a couple of your shout-outs and messages which have come in via www.footballforkidspodcast.com. Like I always say, if you'd like to get a shout-out in or put a request in for an episode, then please ask an adult to head to the website and fill in the contact form. I can't guarantee that I will be able to read your shout-out out just because of how many people get in contact every single day. It would be pretty much impossible. But what I can guarantee is eventually I do read every single message which comes into the inbox. The website address is in the description of this episode. And the first one is from Samuel. It says, "Hey Darren, I love your podcast. Please can you give a shout out to my team? Molesley Juniors under 9s Cobras. The team includes me, Arthur, Charlie, Leo, Judah, Zach, Basti, Sonny, Logan and Zachary. I support Bournemouth, so please could you do an episode on them and on Dominic Solanke. Thanks, from Samuel." Well, Samuel, a massive shout out to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to send a message into the podcast, and a huge shout out to all of your teammates I just mentioned, anybody new who might have joined the squad, and of course to your wonderful coaches. And I need to do some episodes on some Bournemouth players like Dominic Solanke, so leave that with me. That one has been added to the list. And the next one is from Cody. It says, "Hi Darren, my name is Cody and I support Liverpool. I don't play for any club right now, but I used to play for Bristol Rovers Supporters Club Blues. Can you shout out to my friends Archie, Leo, Noah K, Noah G and Rex R? Also, can you do an episode on Bristol Rovers? Thanks, from Cody." Well, Cody, a huge shout out to you, a massive shout out to all of your footballing friends and everybody that you know. And don't you worry, Bristol Rovers has been added to the list. That is a club which is rich in history. That's all we've got time for in terms of shout outs and messages this week. And like I said just a moment ago, ask your adults to click the link in the description and send them in via the contact form on the website. Right then, let's get into this episode about FC Barcelona's Aitana Bonmati. Aitana Bonmati was born on the 18th of January in 1998 in Catalonia, Spain. Ever since being a young girl, Aitana has always been a big fan of reading and loves getting stuck into books. And a lot of that would have had something to do with her parents, who apparently were or are both teachers, and they teach the Catalan language and literature. Aitana started her youth career at a club called Ribes. She was just 7 years old, and it's reported that she was the only girl there, and there was hundreds of boys in the academy. Aitana started at the club as a defender and spent a couple of years with the youth team, where she developed very quickly and was known for her fearless mentality and her never giving up attitude. 2 years later, she joined another youth team called CFQBS, where it's reported that once again she was the only girl in the team. Aitana used to get teased by some of the boys in the squad, as she wasn't as big or physically strong as them, but she did benefit a lot from playing with the boys, and it most definitely would have helped her with her development and becoming the player that she is today. When Aitana was around 14 years old, she moved to play for FC Barcelona. She played in many of the matches and won many of the country's girls' football tournaments. But it's said that there was a point when she was a teenager playing at Barca in the youth system, and she thought to herself, is this all really worth it? It was exhausting travelling and all the other things, like the time away and all the sacrifices. Also, back in 2012-2013, which really wasn't that long ago, the women's game wasn't anything like what it is today. So the inspiration for playing football as a job wasn't quite there for Aitana. She did, however, read and understand how things work with professional football in the States, and she did think about playing football in America. It wasn't until the summer of 2015 that FC Barcelona decided to make their women's football team a professional football team, as beforehand they were all amateur footballers. Due to this decision, Aitana made the decision herself that she was going to stay with FC Barcelona. Since becoming a professional player with Barca, Aitana Bonmati has scored some truly wonderful goals. Some of her best goals seem to be when she sees the keeper off their line. She just seems to have this huge urge to shoot, and on YouTube there are goals galore of Aitana sticking the ball over the keeper's head from the strangest of places. You would have thought that by now the keepers would stay pretty close to their goal line when she is on a football pitch. Although Aitana is a midfielder, and a very good one, she has scored over 60 goals for Barca. One of the reasons why she is so good on a football pitch is simply because of how good her footballing brain is. Yes, she's got all the skills, she's got the fitness, the stamina, the agility, and all that other good stuff. But it's said one of the biggest things why she is such a great player for Barca is because she can read the game so well. And because of that, she almost always makes the right moves at the right time. And that leads to lots of goals. Since playing at Barca, Aitana has won the women's equivalent of the La Liga 4 years in a row. She's also won the Champions League twice, as well as plenty of other trophies and awards. One of the many reasons Aitana has done so well at Barcelona is because of her fantastic teammates. And one player who she seems to get on really well with and have such a laugh with is the Lioness, Keira Walsh. Last year, in the year 2023, Aitana won one of the most special awards on earth. She was crowned the Ballon d'Or Feminine Champion. This was for her terrific performances throughout the previous season. Thanks to Aitana and Alexia Putellas, who I've also made an episode on, Spain are the leading country in terms of the Ballon d'Or in the women's game. Alexia has won 2, and Aitana has now won 1. If you want to check out the episode I made on Alexia Putellas, the double Ballon d'Or winner, then please head to Season 1, Episode 65. Since Aitana was a teenager, she has been playing for and representing Spain. Not only has she been representing them though, but she's won the Euros with them, and made it to the World Cup final as a youth player, and won the World Cup as a senior player. At just 26 years old, Aitana Bonmati has won pretty much everything in women's football. And you can tell that she just loves being on a football pitch and playing the beautiful game. I'd love to sit down with her and ask her this one question. Do you feel like you've got anything left to prove? She plays for one of the most successful teams there's ever been in women's football. She's won the Euros, she's won the World Cup, and she's won the Ballon d'Or. What a player, and what a career she's had. I hope that you've enjoyed listening and learning about the story so far of Aitana Bonmati, the Spain and Barcelona midfielder with an incredible footballing brain. And remember, if you know someone who loves football just as much as you do, then please tell them about Football for Kids. And whether you're playing football soon, watching it on the telly or pitch side, I hope that you enjoy the game. See you next time.